Hi, I'm Nicola, I'm the lunch break gardener and welcome to my greenhouse. So today I wanted to show you about my cucumbers. So I've been growing this one for quite a while. I planted it as seed on the 7th of July and this is how far I've got. It's now the 7th of September and we're just getting tiny cucumbers, so I need to pollinate them. So I started them off in my trusty milk bottles, and then I changed them to a half milk bottle to grow on and then plant them. So I have 2 cucumber plants in here. I have 1 at the front of the house and I have 3 by my beehives. But because these are in here, I need to pollinate them myself, which is really what I wanted to do today. So this is a cucumber I planted and it's at the front of the house and it gets the most sun. But because I planted it late, I'm not sure it's got the most pollinators, so I pollinated this one myself. So this is an outdoor variety of cucumber, so it means that they do need pollination. You can get some which are hybrids, all female hybrids, and they are for growing indoors, so they are probably better for growing late in the year because you don't need the pollinators. But this one I saw had a female cucumber come up, so I pollinated it myself with a paintbrush. So there's one. So this is classed as the ovary sac, which is the cucumber itself. So these need pollinating by the male flowers. This is a perfect example of a male flower. So you need to wipe the paintbrush across the flower opening and then wipe it across what would have been the flower here. This is now sort of like dyed this flower bit, and I'll show you how to do that in my greenhouse. Okay, so I'm back in the greenhouse. I just want to show you the temperature because it is absolutely boiling in here. So it's nearly 40 degrees. And so this is my outdoor cucumber which I'm growing in the greenhouse. So there's hardly any pollinators here. So this is a perfect example of a female cucumber flower. So I need to pollinate that. So what I'm going to use to do that is the paintbrush technique. I'm sure you've seen this used before. So I'm going to wipe the top of this across a male flower and then wipe this across the top of the female flower, and hopefully that should work. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe this across here and then take the paintbrush and wipe it across the female one. And repeat that a couple of times just to ensure you've got everything. Okay, so in a couple of days' time we'll come back and see if that has worked. See if the flower has died off and the cucumber has started to grow. Okay, so this is the book I use, the ABC of Gardening by Hodder. It's quite an old book. I don't know whether you can see there. It's still got the price in fractions, but it's quite a good book, and it does give an example of the male and female cucumbers there. So I just wanted to have a little look about sowing the seeds because I want to try these crystal apple cucumbers. They look quite unusual. So it says plants are raised in a heated glass house at a temperature of say 70 degrees. That's Fahrenheit because this is quite old. It is possible to raise them also in a hotbed, providing a bottomy of 75 degrees is obtained. So we've got ideal temperatures at the moment. It's absolutely boiling for this one. So I'm going to use my milk bottle propagators. So this is an outdoor one, so this one will also need pollinating. Yeah, 20 degrees. Sowing instructions, 68 Fahrenheit, which is basically what the book said. Under glass or in a propagator, so that we've got ideal conditions, and I can pop it in the greenhouse. If you don't have a greenhouse, you could just use the milk bottles. What I did before I had a greenhouse was I used the milk bottles, and then I used to put the milk bottles in a plastic carrier bag and wrap it round, just to have the reuse bit of my plastic consumption. So as long as that heat gets up the medium, the soil, you should be fine and it should grow. Okay, so I've got my milk bottle container. So it's got good drainage in the bottom, holes in the bottom. I'm just going to fill this with just some soil from here. Not using any particular seed soil or anything like that. Just making sure that it's quite fine. So I'm not going to take large stuff from the top. Getting rid of any stones. So that's really nice and fine. I'm just going to get some water in my watering can. And my watering butts are dry at the moment, so I am having to use a bit of tap water. So generally I would leave this overnight. So I just want that in there just to filter through. You can see it's draining quite well. Ooh, they're big seeds. So I'm literally just going to do 2. I'm not going to do them, do loads of them because it's the wrong time of year. Doesn't say to position them in any particular way, so I'm just going to put one in here. Another one out. Let's stick. And one in there. And bring this over. I think that was meant to go around there somehow. And I'm going to pop it up on my top shelf. There you have it. They're the cucumber seeds. I'm just going to write on here September 7th sowing. So then I know when to come back and check it. So when I first come out, I fill up my watering can with water and I leave it in the greenhouse for a while so that the water can heat up. That's quite important for greenhouse plants, that they have the same temperature water as the greenhouse. So once I've been round and done all the bits and bobs that I wanted to do, I then water it. So these cucumbers I water every day. Give them a good dose, and I also water marrows every day as well. Every couple of weeks I give my cucumbers a tomato plant feed, which I think really helps them. I don't use any special compost, I just use the garden soil and the compost I make myself. Okay, thanks for joining me today for my quick tutorial on cucumbers. Anything I've missed, please comment. I'm really new to this. This is more about my gardening journey than trying to teach, but I like to share what information I have. So join me tomorrow where I will be planting my new grapevine. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.